Welcome. I am so excited to be joined today by Irina Makare. She is a sleep coach, and we're going to be talking about her sleep coaching practice, how she helps busy professionals optimize sleep, tips for you as the health practitioner, and we're also going to be exploring the Clinical Sleep Kit program and how Irina has benefited from being in that program. If you are a physician or healthcare practitioner, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I'm Dr. Nishi Bhopal. I'm an integrative psychiatrist and sleep medicine physician, and this channel is for you as the health practitioner to learn how to better support your patients with sleep. And before we jump in, I'd like to invite you to get my free brand guide on melatonin supplements. It's one of these supplements that many of our patients are taking, but quality really matters. So if you would like to get the free brand guide for your clinical practice, you can get that at intrabalance.com/melatonin, and I'll put the link below as well. All right, Arina, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you share a little bit about your background and what you do?
Hi, Dr. Nishi, and thank you so much for inviting me to talk with you. I'm Arina Makare. I'm a sleep coach, and I'm working with busy individuals to overcome their sleep issue and optimize their performance because they're leading busy lives and they are so affected by their stress and they're career-focused individual, and they also want to prioritize their health, but they don't know how. So in my coaching practice, I developed a framework, a personalized framework called Dream, where I focus on improving their biology. I focus on chronobiology, optimizing the environment for better sleep. And the main thing that we are working is behavior change and mindset management.
It's so important, and we were just chatting before we started this video about how sleep deprivation is kind of glorified in some circles, even still, right? I think 10 or 15 years ago, there was this idea of I'll sleep when I'm dead, or I'm too busy to sleep. And that is kind of shifting. That attitude has kind of changed. But there still is this idea that, I need to burn the candle at both ends, especially amongst busy professionals, healthcare professionals included.
Yeah, and my background is in IT engineering. I've been working in this field for 16 years before I decided to quit this career and start sleep coaching. And I become a sleep coach because of course, because of my own sleep problems, I've been suffering with insomnia for years, which caused a lot of problems, including an accident because I fell asleep on the wheel, and that was my aha moment and the moment that I decided to change things. But also I saw how the insomnia has affected my performance at work. And while I started tweaking things and improving my sleep, I saw things changing. But in the same time, I saw around me people, as you were saying, being proud and wearing as a badge of honor the sleep deprivation and sacrificing sleep for more work. Actually, I have friends who were telling me my best code is at 2 a.m. after I'm having few beers. It's like, no, that's not your best code. So this inspired me to become a sleep coach and to help more people and to change this perception about sleep. And my goal is to use sleep as a tool for improving performance.
I love that because, yeah, and there's that thing, like you said, oh, my best code is at 2 a.m., after a few beers. Well, your best judgment is not then either, right? Yeah, so sleep deprivation and impaired sleep really affects every aspect of life. What kinds of sleep issues do you see with the clients in your practice?
A lot of the issues that I'm seeing, and it's very common, is like difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, difficulty winding down and making a disconnect between the workday, especially after the pandemic where we were working from home. There was no delimitation between your work life and your personal life. And including myself, like I was turning off my computer and going directly into bed and then having a hard time falling asleep. So there is this difficulty of disconnecting between the workday and the stress that comes with it to relaxing and having a good night's sleep. And the very common I'm seeing is the revenge bedtime procrastination, when people like intentionally delay sleep because they didn't have time in their workday to take some me time. And when evening comes, that's the only time they have to dedicate for themselves, and they delay sleep for that. So that's the one of the most common things, besides like insomnia and difficulty staying asleep. That's a very common one as well.
Yeah, it's such a common one. And I remember seeing a bunch of articles coming out about, this idea, the bedtime procrastination really trending online as well. And I know for me personally, even though I'm a sleep doctor, I'm a psychiatrist, it's something I struggle with as well, right? Because we're so busy all day, and then you just want to have some me time at the end of the day, and then that comes at the expense of sleep. But human beings are the only animal that actually intentionally delays sleep.
And unfortunately, this me time that we spend in the evening, it's not necessarily a time that we spend relaxing, winding down, moving our body, or like doing some activities that would help us to relax. But we escape on social media, on doom scrolling. And yeah, that's another very common behavior that I'm seeing with my clients.
Yeah, such a big issue. And something that I always talk about is that everybody needs to sleep, and we need more health practitioners, sleep coaches like yourself to support different kinds of people with different sorts of sleep issues. And so that's something that we do in the clinical sleep kit program is really kind of address all of these different areas of sleep and provide a community for coaches and practitioners, physicians of different backgrounds to get together and support each other. So maybe we can talk a little bit about that, and what prompted you to join the CSK, or the Clinical Sleep Kit program?
Honestly, sleep coaching for adults, it's kind of a new thing on the market, and it feels very lonely. So I was like looking for communities where I can share information, get feedback from other professionals. Basically wanted to connect with professionals. That was like one thing. But also it's like I'm a continuous learner, and though I have some education, I did some certification, some sleep coaching certification, I want to expand my expertise and to learn from reliable sources, because now on the internet you find a lot of information and you don't know which is true or not. So having a community of experts, doctors, and other health professionals was something that I was attracted, because I knew that whatever I'm learning there, it's something that I feel comfortable using in my practice. So being part of a community, learning from other professionals, it's not only about sleep, because like our body is so interconnected. There are so many things that influence our sleep, and sleep influence other conditions, that I want to learn more from other experts. Um, and also, I wanted to have a place where to ask questions about my cases. Sometimes even if you know everything, you get like a complicated case and your mind blows. Like, what am I missing? And having someone to talk with, to ask some questions, sometimes even like very obvious questions, it helps. So, and already I knew some people in this community, like Dr. Val Ikacho, which I love, and I knew that if she's in that community, I know that it's the right place to be. So I'm so happy that I found out the sleep kit, clinical sleep kit program, and I've been part of it like more than a year or something, and I've learned so much from it.
Oh, well, I'm so delighted that you're part of the program. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of all the reasons you listed. That's kind of the reason I created the program. I sort of created something that I was looking for. And even as, board certified sleep doctor, I have this group of sleep doctors like Dr. Valcacho, and we have this group of sleep doctors, and we were asking each other questions about our cases. And I thought, well, if we have these questions, I'm sure other people have these questions as well. And, then the community was born. So I'm so excited that you're part of it.
I would like to add, because another reason why I wanted to create like a network as well, because as a sleep coach, I'm very aware of my scope of practice. So my mantra is like, when in doubt, refer out, but refer out where. So I wanted to create a network of people that I can refer my clients to get help. Is if they have obstructive sleep apnea, who do I refer to? Or if they have like different kind of question that I cannot address. So I would like to know where I can refer those people to.
It's wonderful. Yeah. And we have such a great community inside the program. of, there's sleep doctors, sleep coaches, but really most of the people are not trained in sleep medicine. We've got psychiatrists, primary care physicians, health coaches, psychotherapists, people of all different backgrounds. So I'm curious to hear from you, what are some of the skills or knowledge or other areas regarding sleep that you've learned inside the CSK program?
Well, as part of the program, there are a lot of resources and mini training. And one of the training that I found very useful is like the melatonin training, because there is so much information over there, but it's like all over the place. So that training was very important for me to understand how melatonin to be used, and because that's like the default option for a lot of people to get over the counter without having any background. And so often it causes a lot of side effects and issues. So understanding more about melatonin was very helpful. Also, I found it very, very helpful, the Q&A, the monthly Q&A, where you're bringing specialists. So I've learned a lot from asking questions that I had in mind, couldn't find on the internet, and had an expert available so that I can ask my question. So yeah, and besides, so mini training, the things that I've learned from the Q&As. Also, there are a lot of resources that I can use directly in my practice, like the sheets, like worksheets and sleep diary and other stuff that I can directly get from the Sleep Kit community and use it on my clients. So that was like very valuable.
That's amazing. I'm so, so glad that it's been helpful. And I'm curious to hear more about how all of this has impacted you as a sleep coach, or just, you in your clinical practice.
Yeah, and to some degree, I feel like more confident in what I am helping people with, because it's, as I was saying, it's backed up by a professional. I do have a lot of the resources from my sleep coaching certifications, but it is combining the theory with the clinical practice. And that's like the aspect that you don't learn from books and you don't learn from theory, like the clinical aspect. And also learning from others people's cases. Like we recently we started having the clinical, what is it called, sorry,
A case conference.
a case conference. But beside that, we also have a portal where we are asking questions about our cases. And I learned so much only from those situations, because like I'm not exposed to all those cases, but the way the other professionals are asking questions, how they're thinking, their thought process, plus the way the other people in the community are answering. And often I'm like mind blowing. I didn't think of this aspect. So it is mind blowing for me.
Oh, that's so great. And yeah, and again, that was really one of the goals, is to have this hive mind where we've got people of all different backgrounds sharing information, and we all have different perspectives and can learn from one another.
Yeah, because we have blind spots. We are so trained into our area of expertise that we often don't think of like other edge cases or the holistic approach, even though like a lot of the people who are in this space, they're holistic doctors. But we are so used to a certain way of thinking that we develop blind spots.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And I love how you mentioned combining theory with clinical practice, because that's really the art of supporting clients and patients, right?
Exactly.
Is we can learn all this information in a book, but how do you actually apply it to the person in front of you? And that's where things can get a little bit muddy sometimes.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone who's considering joining CSK?
Oh, don't hesitate to join. And I'm not like, you can see the passion that I'm having for this program. It will benefit you so much. And there are so many tools that you can utilize, from the monthly Q&A sessions where you have the opportunity to ask like specialists, to access to Dr. Nishi, who has like a huge expertise, and she's so knowledgeable. And when she cannot help you, she has access to other resources and other specialists, or refer you to those. You don't have to be alone in this. And sleep is so important. And the more we learn about sleep, is like the more we realize how much it is impacting every aspect of our health. And I know I don't have a medical education, but I know that there is very little to none education about sleep in the medical field. So I think it's the best place to be to get help with understanding and integrating this approach into your clinic, into your practice.
Oh,
So,
that's amazing.
and like we had in our last clinical conference call, we actually, like, someone was reflecting and realizing that doctor had an aha moment, is, oh, maybe I should integrate in my intake questionnaire like some sleep questions, because like they are so interconnected with the other symptom that his patient was having. So expanding your knowledge, expanding your expertise, and having the support, having a place where to ask questions.
Yeah, and and it's really it goes beyond sleep, as you're sort of, alluding to here, like that you're touching upon here, which is, it's really about being a better practitioner. And again, no matter what your background is, whether you're a physician, you're a coach, you're a therapist, sleep is so integral to health. But in our program, we go far beyond that. It's really about, optimizing your clinical practice, your clinical approaches, how to streamline processes, connecting with others, and supporting your clients and patients the best way that you can.
Yeah, that's true.
So your clinical area of expertise is sleep coaching for the busy professional, helping them with sleep optimization. Could you share some of your favorite clinical tips with our practitioners who are watching today?
I would start with the beginning. First is with the screening. When you're doing the screening, when I'm doing screening, I have a very comprehensive sleep assessment. And I'm not like asking like, how is your sleep? Because like patient and clients, like they are so subjective. Oh, my sleep is good. But in the same time, as like a person who is sleeping 6 hours, 6.5 hours, they think they might have a good sleep. But another person who has 7 hours, they can say, I'm having a bad sleep, because they are thinking as I need to have 8 hours of sleep. So having questions that are more like granular about quality and quantity, so more targeted questions to give you like a background of a better understanding of their problem. The other advice I would have is like, when dealing with insomnia, the best approach would be cognitive behavior therapy instead of prescribing meds. So there is a better way without side effects, easier, and I wouldn't say easier to implement, because it's harder for the patient than the meds. So I would say, think about if your patient is experiencing insomnia, not to have the first instinct to be to prescribe meds to help them, but think of like cognitive behavior therapy for insomnia. And a practical advice to help someone to improve their sleep is encourage them on schedule relaxing bedtime routines. As I was saying, like people, their default tendency is to escape on social media. So giving them like some indications of, or some instruction on how can they relax before bed without social media or without our gadgets. So consistent sleep schedule and relaxing bedtime routines and light exposure. It's one of, again, like with in my IT world that I'm coming from, we are so light deprived during the day, because we wake up, we go to the office, and we turn the blinds on because glare. So we create like this office space environment like a cave, and we get so little light exposure, then we are getting sleepy and no energy. And then we go to have a coffee at 2 p.m. after lunch to help us to end the day. So, and in the evening, we turn on the lights. So educating people about like how to get light exposure, when to get light exposure. And that just this tiny change would make a huge difference on their energy activities and on their sleep during the night.
That's such a great point. And yeah, the light deficiency during the day and then the darkness deficiency at night, it has such an impact. Those were great actionable tips. Thank you for sharing those. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience, or maybe your specific approach in your coaching practice?
Yeah, so I'm also approaching the my client as a whole person, and I'm trying to look at that person holistically and not only from a sleep perspective. Often I'm trying to find like different pieces of the puzzle. That's why I have a very detailed screening when I start working with a person. And as I was saying, like my framework is covering 5 pillars, which is the biology of that individual, chronobiology, then the surrounding and the social environment. And then we're looking at the behavior change and trying to replace like bad behavior with good behavior, which good is like not bad and good, but like sleep promoting and versus sleep adverse. And a lot of the work is on the mindset management. So regardless of the problem, I have these 5 pillars, and we can focus more or less on one of the pillars, depending where that individual person a problem is. So I work one-on-one with clients, but I also I'm just working on launching my group coaching program, which is called Effortless Sleep Solution, and helps people to create a routine that makes going to bed and falling asleep effortless. So yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. There's such a need for that. And I think there is power in group sessions. Because as you were saying, like in CSK, it's a group, right? So you learn from each other, but even with patients and clients, it can be quite powerful to help support them in that group setting.
Yes, and they get so inspired. Like I've run this program a few times as a beta before launching officially, and the impact was like mind blowing. A lot of people, they didn't even realize how much they were spending on the phone, because I also have a challenge called Phone Fast Challenge, where I'm asking people to stop using their phone 1 hour before bed. And it's not easy, but like they have aha moments and they realize, well, I can do it. And if I'm doing it, the effects that I'm seeing are so big. So they get inspired by the other people in the community, because like there are so many aspects in our life that we don't take into consideration. And I realize that for doctors, it's very hard when they have 10-15 minutes to speak with their patient. But as a coach, I'm spending more time with those individuals, and the time that we spend between session in our community group and seeing all those life aspects that I didn't even realize how they're impacting their behavior and the way they're interacting with their phone, for example.
Amazing. Yeah, no, it has such a big impact. So if people want to send you clients or learn more about your sleep coaching practice, where can they find you?
So I have my website on irinamacare.com, and there you can find more information about my services, like the one-on-one programs that I'm coaching packages that I have, plus the group coaching program. So, and if you want to talk with me, you can email me at info@irinamacare.com if you want to ask me like direct questions, or yeah.
Amazing. So we'll put all of those links in the video description below so people can go check out your website and refer clients to you. Are you able to see people all across the states, or what sort of geographic?
Yes.
Yeah.
So since my practice is online, I can interact with people all over the world, depending on the time zone. So if the time allows us to meet in like decent time of the day, I'm taking clients all over the world.
Excellent. And is there anything else you'd like to share about the Clinical Sleep Kit program?
Oh, don't hesitate. It's such, try it and you'll see it. If you don't like it, you can always step back. But if you join it, you will not regret it. It's like the best investment you can do for your practice.
Well, thank you, Arina. This was wonderful. Thank you for sharing your experience inside CSK and your clinical expertise. Like I said, I'll put all the links in the video description so people go check out Arina's website. And if you are interested in joining the Clinical Sleep Kit program, we are opening doors again in August of 2024 at the time of this recording. So get on the CSK wait list. And for people who join the wait list, you get a special surprise, which I will email information about later. So go ahead and get on the CSK wait list. I'll put the link in the video description as well. And Irina and I would love to meet you inside the program if you'd like to learn more about clinical sleep medicine.
Thank you.